Welcome back, readers of Mystery in Rocky Mountain National Park. We are on Chapter 17, 1880. Abe woke to the sounds of the ranch hands gathered around the fire to cook breakfast. He rubbed the sleep out of his eyes, dressed, and joined the men. Harrison, still in his long underwear, stood shaving. It was Burley Gypsum's morning to cook. The man was the same age as Albert Sprague, soft-spoken and observant. His copper hair and beard were a marvel to Abe. "Boys, looks like it's going to be a splendid day in the valley. Might get a touch of rain up here, though." Burley gestured toward the high peak in the distance. "Does the mountain have a name?" Abe asked. "Long's Peak, but Hank March says it's got a true name, an ancient name." Burley continued staring at the snow-capped peak, perhaps enchanted by how its massive shape loomed over the landscape. "Who's Hank March?" Abe asked. The men all laughed, not at Abe, but at how difficult it was to explain such a curious character like Hank March. "Imagine a man in buckskin," Burley began, "emerging from the woods with a rifle slung over his shoulder, a beard full of moss and lichen, and feet tough as leather from miles of stalking game." Harrison chimed in. "Hank knows the names and ways of these mountains like nobody else round here. He's gone traipsing about the Arapahoe and Ute learning the unwritten stories of these parts." Abe's thoughts returned to the symbols on the spearhead, now drawn into his journal, and he wondered if perhaps this mysterious mountain man could make sense of them. "Where do you find him?" Abe asked. The men laughed again, and then Burley explained. "Nobody can find Hank March. He's a rambler. He finds you." Disappointed, Abe sat down on the big logs that circled the campfire. "Hey, kid, sounds like you and the boss have got a ramble of your own today." Burley flipped several hot cakes out of the cast iron pan and onto a big metal plate. "Yes, sir, Mr. Sprague says we're going to mark a trail to the top of the peak." "That's for men braver than me," Burley replied. "2 years back a fella got clean blown off a ridge up there." "How?" Abe asked. "By the mountain itself," Burley answered. "Mountains ain't piles of rock, Abe. They've got a life of their own, stirring up their own weather and shaking off anything that don't belong." Burley threw a slab of bacon into another big cast iron, where it began to sizzle and pop. "I don't mean to scare you. I just mean to say the mountains like Long's Peak, they demand our respect." Abe looked again at the mountain, its ridge line tinted pink by the first light of the sunrise. Spindrift, like a ghost, blew from the top and spun like a red fire into the sky. Rubbing a thumb against the palm of his hand, he tried not to think about what it might take or what might happen on the way to the top. Join us next time for Chapter 18, Surprises.